Hey, how's it going, everybody? We got a beautiful day here. We got Thursday, May the 29th, 2025, 65 degrees. The fountain's on. We got this new mural. I'm excited because it's promoting environmental justice here, commemorating Hazel Johnson, a trailblazer from the south side of Chicago here for environmental justice. Hey, Lambie T, Mary Therese, thanks for tuning in here. Look, yeah, the fountain's on here. We're underneath the Prudential 2 Tower, the Prudential 1 Tower. Of course, we got reruns on TikTok of this already. I think we just want to start our live here. But I'm just going to take a cruise through Millennium Park. We'll go through the loop. We'll probably end up at the Riverwalk. And we'll enjoy this beautiful sunshine. So again, yeah, this commemorates Hazel Johnson there, the trailblazer in environmental justice there. That the artist is Mr. Super A from the Netherlands there. And this is on the Prudential 1 Tower there, Prudential 2. They got the plaza and the fountains on. So here we'll head around there. There's the Carbide and Carbon building. Look at that beautiful view. Yeah, Lambie T, Krista, Mary Therese, Taco. Thanks for tuning in. Taco, jalapeno salsa. Taco, you see they're using the Wall Street coined this, the Wall Street Journal, the taco trade for Trump always chickens out on the tariffs. And then, of course, he doesn't like that. And it's the Wall Street traders that have coined that because, you know, he always backs down. And now it doesn't even matter, at least in the interim. And we'll see what the courts do. We know the courts put a temporary halt on the tariffs, but now everything's in limbo. The market doesn't even know what to do because it's just more uncertainty. It depends on what the courts do. But there, welcome to Chicago. We'll go by the Nutella here, and there's the train here, Michigan and Lake. Here's up to the Wrigley building here. There's not a line in front of Nutella, so I guess it's fine here. And we'll head past Stan's Donuts. Bubblicious. Hey, Prince, how you doing there, Ernie? Hey, we saw Ernie this morning there. Thanks for tuning in, Ernie and Taco. I know. I'm sorry that they're using your name there. You know, Taco Jalapeno Salsa, but sorry, I just had to bring it up there. Thanks for you tuning in there and everybody else. And here's, we'll see what's happening in Millennium Park. Here, Garrett's Popcorn, Lids. We'll see if this rainbow cone opens here. Hopefully they'll have it open before the summer. People can get their ice cream here and head into the park. And they got Auntie Ann Cinnabon. Get your Cinnabon, they'll have frozen treats as well. Looks like they got drinks and pretzels and Cinnabons there. I remember the malls always used to have Cinnabons there. Yeah, Naya, how you doing there? Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you're having a good Thursday here. So I'm gonna make this light. I'm gonna find a way to get across here. Let's see if we'll make it across here. I don't want to wait for this light, and I'll make this bus wait here. I'm running full. We made it. And the bus is still able to make their turn. Good. So, hey, there's my mad dash there. I'm not used to running that much. There's the Pittsfield building. That's the skyscraper that TikToker bought. Isn't that nice? You're having a great Thursday there. Yeah. Run, Forrest, run. Run, Forrest, run. Good. Yeah. Chris is tuning in there. Let's see who else. Missing all the comments. Rahul. USA. Yeah. Sprinting across the street there. USA 1776 there. Thanks for tuning in there, everybody. I see the people are sitting on the fountain here. We got the colonnade. Yeah, people are out sitting on the benches here. The pigeons. Somebody's feeding the pigeons. Yeah, eating their lunch there. But yeah, the fountain's on. The sun's out. Sun's out, buns out. We'll probably head to the beach on the way home tonight on TikTok. We'll just cruise by the Bean here, 65 degrees. It'll warm up a little bit over the weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week, I see 80s in the forecast. So that'll finally start feeling like summer. Yeah. Tuning in from India. That is awesome. How you doing there? Hey, Michael. All the Michaels. Yeah, so we got music playing. We got some live bands across the street there. And people sitting on benches here. Yeah, let's see what's happening at the Bean. There's the train going by. Scenes of the city there. This is looking down Washington Street. Loop of Chicago, we'll get over there. But hey, they get the bars out here. People taking pictures. Hey, everybody's dressed up here. We got a wedding or something going on. Yeah, it's beautiful. 91. Is it gonna get to 91? Man, it's hot. See, this always happens. Like May, we're cursing because it's cold. How you doing there? Beautiful, beautiful. How you doing? That's great. And here we'll head around the Bean. Then we get to June and it goes right to the 90s. Why can't we have a week of 70s and 80s? You know, got to put in the air conditioner right away. But it's time for it. I think everybody's ready for the hot weather. The hot weather's always nice at first. That's good. You got to get back to work. That's okay. I understand. So I'm just going to walk around Millennium Park. This is my lunch break. So I usually on YouTube, that's why I'm downtown so much, because I work downtown. So I take my lunch break, and usually we just, you know, earlier this week we went to Navy Pier. We saw the bridge lift. They lifted the bridges yesterday. So we were all on the Riverwalk yesterday. We saw Christopher Dotson, who was in town from New York City. They were able to see the bridge lift. Look, the cloud gate's got clouds in it. There's the Bean here, the cloud gate, Anish Kapoor's. Look at this plane. There's a big plane right above it. Man. But, yeah, the Bean's looking nice. Yeah, we'll head around the plaza here. So we'll go over, check out the Crown Fountain. We'll walk over to Daily Plaza. They're having, let me get behind these people taking photos here. They got the farmers markets going on at Daily Plaza, so we'll cruise by there, and then we'll probably head back up to the river. I'm just going to do a circuitous walk so I can get back to the office by 1 o'clock. So I'm just strolling through the Millennium Park and the loop of downtown here at lunchtime. That's all that's going on. Nothing big. I reject that we have to be a goal-driven society. Can't we just enjoy a beautiful day and just take a stroll and people watch and people enjoying the Bean here? And it's great to see. Yeah, it looks like. Hey, let's take a look at this. It looks like the Pritzker Bandshell is back open because they were working on it, and this is just in time for the Blues Fest is coming up. Does anybody know they're going to do the house music festival? Yeah. So this is Chicago. We're in Chicago. This is Millennium Park. This is called the Bean. Thanks for tuning in here. We're downtown Chicago. See the Aon Prudential Building. There's the top of the Sears Tower right there. And this is called the Pritzker Bandshell. It's not just for the governor, the whole family, wealthy from the heirs of the Hyatt hotel fortune. So if you ever stayed in the Hyatt, you probably paid for some of this. But hey, they got it back open. The lawn's looking good. See, this was designed by Frank Gehry, the architect, and this is his signature style. They're the titanium curving, you know, millennial architecture, whatever they call it, millennial modern. But I work for an architecture engineering firm. Man, all these probing questions, I just accept people as they are. I don't care what people do for a living. Thanks for asking. I know people are just curious. But yeah, I've worked for an architecture engineering firm, different firms for the past 30 years. I went to college in the 90s. I did not always live in Chicago. I moved here 26 years ago for a job. Moved here in 1999 and been here ever since. I live in Lincoln Park. I walk to work. I don't have a car by choice, but I am saving money not having a car. And I spend all my money I save on housing, so, and taxes and insurance. Yeah, Chicago. Thanks, Maria. USA, you got it. Thanks for tuning in there. Thanks for helping out. Yeah, I want to join you. I want to get rid of my corporate job too. I don't work because I want to. I work because I have to. I wish I was Bitcoin rich or living off the stock market. Yeah, you want me to flick the bean to make the noise? Yeah, we've done it before. It makes like a tone. I go there, and if you're curious what I look like, if you go to TikTok there, I got plenty of videos of what I look like, and we've gone up. You can see me in the mirror. If we run across any mirrors there, I'll show you what I look like. I'm not in the Witness Protection Agency. I'm just a true live streamer. The focus should be on the city, always pointing forward. This is Madison Street. That's looking at the heart of the loop. There's the Link bus station there. They got some flowers there. But there, let's head over to the Crown Fountain. Seems like a lot of people's here. People are actually splashing in the water, which is nice. Maybe we'll catch it when they every 15 minutes or so they spit the water out there, and it goes through the cycle. Yeah, it went over my head. It went over my head, so maybe they were making fun of me. So yeah, go ahead. You can do your inside jokes there and make fun of me however you want, whatever makes you feel better. You can call me every name in the book. I've been called every name in the book. Been live streaming for 2 years. A lot of people don't like this city. What does it mean? Can somebody educate me? What is flicking the bean? What does that mean? And if not, you can privately message me if it's too dirty to pass the YouTube censors. Yeah, how you doing there? It's probably something I should know. But here's the Crown Fountain. Hey, kids are enjoying playing this. Look at that. Oh, okay. Thanks for explaining that. Thanks for explaining that, Julie. Yeah, I guess I should know that. I don't know. I'm not down on all the hip terms. Hey, there we go. There's the water. Yeah, look, everybody's running over there, getting the shower there. That's awesome. Look, there's the bean there. And see, look, both sides there. This happens. We got here just in time. So look, they're having fun there. And it's not even that warm today. I'm amazed these kids are in this water. It's 65 degrees, but it's nice to see. Here, we'll go over here. There, see, so it doesn't last long. And but hey, the kids enjoy it. Here's the Crown Fountain here. There's faces of Chicagoans that volunteer to put their faces up there. Here's all the food trucks. I think man, they're screaming a lot. On Fridays, these same taco trucks will probably be all at Daily Plaza. On Thursdays, they have the farmers market at Daily Plaza. And on Fridays, they have the food trucks all line up. They actually pull right up on the plaza, and you can just go. It's like being at a food court. You can just go and find until you find something. You could sit right there on the plaza, just like you can at the farmer's market, and get you some yummy, tasty food. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Crown Fountain there. Yeah, Julie, it has to do with our politics. People don't like Chicago for our politics, and we do have crime, and we got high taxes, and, Democratic mayors, and that's mainly the reason. Most of the big cities in the United States lean to the left as far as it's just the way our politics. You say even the word urban, it means so many different things to so many different people. And but I like Chicago. I understand that cities are not for everybody, but I like to show off the beautiful architecture, University Club, the Monroe Building here. How you doing? Oops. And here we'll head across Michigan Avenue. And here I want to show these umbrellas here, and we'll head over to Daily Plaza, check out the farmers market, and see what's happening in the loop here. Thanks for tuning in. I do this usually daily. We pick a different place to go. Thanks for tuning in if you're new, and if you're old, part of the regulars on the lunch bunch. Thanks for tuning in here. Here's look at these nice umbrellas. Ernie, have you seen these umbrellas? Look at that beautiful entrance there, the Monroe Building. This is the Sugary. This is Sugary, Chicago, right next to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. And they got these beautiful umbrellas here. You could just sit here right on the wide Michigan Avenue. There's the Art Institute. And we'll head around here. And it's beautiful in there. The security guards always check me out every time I go in there. They don't like me streaming the beautiful Tiffany, or no, it's not Tiffany, it's Rookwood. It's Rookwood pottery tile. Check it out for yourself if you're ever in this area. But here's the University Club. And you're from the Amazon rainforest, Brazil Marines. Thanks for tuning in from Brazil. That is awesome. Welcome to Chicago. Honk bonk, how you doing there? Yeah, we got nice weather finally. We're finally getting the nice weather. Gatekeepers, yeah, there's a lot of Chicago gatekeepers. They don't want people to come here. They're worried about real estate prices going up, and I understand that too. Yeah. I've talked to some of the Chicago gatekeepers. I'm like, do you consider me a true Chicagoan since I moved here in 20? They said, you passed the test. I've been here long enough. They'll accept me. They'll tolerate me, even though I'm from Indiana. Close enough. Midwest. Hey, the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. We're on Monroe Street. This is Monroe. Here's the 65 and the 55. See, they just redid this. They added this green stuff. The food hall. I guess they got a food hall down there. We'll check it out sometime. I just want to get over to Daily Plaza first here. We got 12:18 in the PM here, just after the noon here. It's the lunch hour. We'll head under Wabash here. This is part of the loop of Chicago, the trains that loop around Central Business District here. The Wabash, they call this Jewelers Row. Yeah, let's cross the street here. How you doing? You get a view to the Jewelers Building and the Trump Tower looking north on Wabash here. Jewelers Row, that's what that signage says there. Yeah, I'm a Hoosier. Who's your daddy? Who's your mama? We might see Who's Your Mama. There's Who's Your Mama selling pies, Who's Your Mama pies at the farmer's market. But hey, there's look at that. That's underneath Wabash. Here comes the ambulance, it looks like. Oh, Memento. Carson Prairie Scott. There's the Palmer House Hilton there. Memento. Hey, they got some nice sculpture there. Anybody dine there? Okay, so Chicago's relatively new for international cities, whereas in 1830 there was hardly anybody living here besides Native Americans and a few fur traders. It was probably a few hundred people lived in this general area. And Chicago was founded in 1837. It grew really quickly. The sirens, I'm talking over the sirens here. It's hard for me to talk over the sirens. Yeah, welcome to the land of sirens. We always hear sirens. It becomes a ubiquitous background of living in the city. But, oh, come on, they keep getting louder. There's number 11. It's going through there, the ambulance. Okay, so Chicago grew pretty quickly because they tried to build a canal to connect Lake Michigan to the Mississippi watershed, and the French realized that would be a strategic spot. Then the railroads technology was perfected, and Chicago quickly grew as a railroad hub for the whole interior of the United States, the hinterland, the Midwest of the United States. This is State Street, and because of the railroads, and it was at a strategic shipping spot to get to the Erie Canal, Chicago grew really quickly, really fast. Whereas in the 1871 Great Chicago Fire, there was about 300,000 people living here when the Great Chicago Fire happened. 10 years later, it was 500,000 because the city quickly rebuilt. This ambulance is completely surrounding me. It keeps circling around where I'm at. By 1890, before the World's Columbian Exposition, Chicago's population grew to over 1 million. It doubled. It doubled again by 1910. That ambulance has been on all sides of us. It's amazing. So, yeah, the sirens are there. They finally turned off the siren. So here, we'll head over. Well, let's see what's happening with this ambulance, and then we'll head over to Daily Plaza here. So we're up to Dearborn Street. But by 1910, Chicago's population was 2 million, so it doubled again in 20 years. And then it was about 3 million by 1929. The population peaked in 1950, and that's because the suburbs, the highways opened up all the farmland around. A lot of people from Chicago moved out to the suburbs for multiple reasons. People with means that could get out and build a new home there, and there was racial divide and redlining. Here we're on Dearborn Street, Chicago Fire Department, ambulance number 11 here. They're usually, when they send a fire truck, they send an ambulance, or if they send an ambulance, they send a fire truck, just in case. Yeah, history lesson. We talk about history a lot. Engine number 1, this is Chicago Fire Department engine number 1 here on Dearborn Street. Here's the Blue Line Monroe stop. Yeah, we talk about mainly the history of architecture. I'm not an architect, but you know, city planner. I'm a city planner, so I like the history of cities, all cities, not just Chicago, and we try to talk about it. Here's this plaza. This building was supposed to be taller, but they scaled it back in 2007 because it was built like when the Great Recession was going on, so they decided not to build as tall, and that's what canceled the Chicago Spire and a few other buildings. But this is the Chase building there. They're still working on the Chase Plaza. That's where the Marc Chagall mosaic is. And we'll head over here. We'll head up into Daily Plaza here. Yeah, the rain. Thanks for tuning in there. But like New York City's much older. It goes back to colonial times. Boston, Philadelphia, even Los Angeles is much older than Chicago because it goes back to the Spanish colonial missions in the 1700s, like San Diego and San Francisco, and that's why they're named that. But they were really small until they were part of America, and they were really small until 20th century, really. So here's some of the link stations here. We'll head up to Daily Plaza here. Hey, thanks for tuning in here. Hey, I like his backpack. And my cousin Matt would have one like that. We had some homeless encampments. There's still some homeless encampments. I noticed some in Humboldt Park and down in Pilsen. There are some downtown. There were some underneath the metro tracks, but they magically disappeared when the DNC was going on, and they put up. But this morning we passed some homeless tents underneath the LaSalle Street Bridge. People are still sleeping out overnight there, and we got the migrant encampments are pretty much gone. They've been gone for about a year and a half. They used to be around the police stations, and we documented those as well, but they're gone now. They're no longer there. So here we're heading up Dearborn Street, the loop of Chicago. Thanks for tuning in here. Yeah. You're looking for another nationality? Yeah. Well, hey, I guess if you have $5 million, Trump will let you in the United States as long as you got money. I'm joking. Here's Dearborn and Washington. Yeah, the farmers markets. Here's Daily Plaza. You see City Hall across the way. We'll cross, this is Washington Street. And Channel 2 News is over here. We'll see if they're doing the lunch broadcast here. Sometimes you can see the TV station here. Yeah, so they must not be doing the live broadcast from there, but there's a fire going on somewhere. There's the forecast. 71, 79, 72, 74. There's the 80s. We get to the 80s by Monday, Tuesday next week. That's good. That's a good looking forecast for Chicago standards. But here, let's head to the farmers market. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago. Yeah, let's check out this farmers market at Daily Plaza here. Yeah, the streetlights, they got these historic looking streetlights. Yeah, they added those here. So here we'll head right into farmers market here. There you see City Hall. So they have this every Thursday here in the summertime throughout the fall. They have this Daily Plaza, which is, there's the Picasso. That's the Daily Center. There's the Cook County courthouses. That's what this is. And yeah, we got hanging baskets, bakery, flour. You got kids. You can climb up on the statue. You can climb on the Picasso statue. He's streaming there. Look at that. Garlic. Yeah, raclette there. Yeah. Gluten-free tamales. Get your tamales. Hey, we got some live music going on here. Yeah. Chili today and hot tamale. Hey, kicking the pigeon there, yeah. Hey, how you doing there? Head to high. LFK. There's the Picasso. Yeah, we got a DJ. Yeah, look at this. Chicago's Farmers Market, Thursday, 7 to 2 p.m. It's been going on all morning. Yeah, we got people dancing. Yeah. Beautiful music, yeah. Yeah, come out to Daily Plaza, the sun's out, people are dancing here. Fountains on. There, seat swap, you can swap some seats here. Michigan, see people come from Michigan and Indiana and Illinois and sell their farm goods. You're dancing? Yeah, Lambie. I like this soundtrack. Yeah, it's nice. There, pastries. Yeah, look at that. Employee gambling fun. I like it. That's the tips. Yeah, look at this. Grass-fed beef and eggs. Look at all this asparagus. They got rhubarb. How you doing here? Look at all this beautiful stuff. Free-range eggs here. That's great. $6. Radish. Look at that. Benton Harbor, Michigan. Yeah, they got succulents. Look, they got all kinds of plants. So they dye this fountain green sometimes, St. Patrick's Day, but it's usually not on then. There, pies. Gourmet meat pies. Link match. How you doing there? Hey, thanks for being here. That's great. Yeah, it's awesome. So here's the fountain here. Daily Plaza Farmers Market. Got a DJ. So I would linger here, but we got places to go, people to see here. So we'll head by City Hall and we'll go by the Thompson Center. They're redoing it for the new Google. The new Google offices are going to be here. They're redoing the food court and redoing the glass. But hey, Daily Plaza's looking nice. Thanks for checking it out with me there. I missed a bunch of comments there. Yeah, come back and check it out there. Yeah, Juice, how you doing there? Yeah, I'm sure they got some pizza there. You can probably find some pizza. Ice cream. Yeah, I know. I blew through there really quickly. You know, you just go and check it out yourself there. You know, and or you know, there's other people. I saw other people live streaming there. I like to keep moving. You know. And another thing, if I stay there, I get a copyright strike because of the music. If because the DJ's playing great music, but that's all copyrighted music that he's playing. And so, hey, how you doing there, Streetwise? How you doing? Appreciate it. Hey, keep up. Appreciate your service here. That's great. So here, we'll keep going. We'll keep going, and we'll go by the Thompson Center there, and yeah, Google's redoing this. We'll show it from the Clark Street side here. So the curtain wall is going up on the LaSalle Street side, and there's a little bit of the curtain wall going up here. See, Travelers Insurance is in this building. This is 161. People often ask me what this big white building is. And so I'll say Travelers Insurance, but Clark Street, Thompson Center. You got 83 in the Mojave Desert. Hey, thanks for the weather update. There's City Hall, Cook County building, Clark Street. Yeah, 70 degrees at Midway. Yeah, thanks, Juice. Thanks for checking it out. That's nice. Yeah, I'm happy that Christopher Dotson came into Chicago and posted a lot of good content. They really saw a lot, him and his friend there. And it's great to see another live streamer's perspective from New York City. We'll head back to the Riverwalk here. We'll head back under the CTA elevated tracks here. But look at this construction elevator they got at the Thompson Center. And it's amazing. Wonder what Helman Jan would think, the original architect, seeing his building exposed. There's the Green Line heading into the Larkin Lake. Here's where you get, if you still need to get a real ID. I know you know, not everybody's got their real ID. Christopher Dotson was talking about. I think Christopher Dotson was able to fly without his real ID. They give you like a temporary pass or something, but eventually you're going to have to get a real ID, and the line's much less now. Remember, with the line, we used to be really long. There's the Thompson Center, Park Street. You watch Chicago PD? Yeah, that's good. How you doing there, Howard? Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Yeah, nice day. There, you see the shadow of the train there? That's the train moving over there. So here, we'll head up Clark Street. We'll go up to the Riverwalk here. We'll see if we see any boats. We got 12:32 in the PM. Thanks for tuning in. There's a food truck there. So if you want to get to O'Hare, the Blue Line subway stop is right underneath there. If you can transfer all the loop stations there. And here, you checked out a Divvy bike. That's great. See, if you travel here, you just give them your credit card and pay for a temporary pass. You can ride a bike and just dock it back at this day. All cities have this in some form. Some of them are B-Cycle. In Chicago, they do it with the Divvy. Yeah, you got to adjust the seat and stuff. Hey, look at this. Good eating. Yeah, this is this Greek Revival post-modernist building here. The R.R. Donnelly building, I think that's what they call this. Yeah, this is the city where Michael Jordan and the Bulls played. Yeah, they played in the United Center. It's on the west side. People often ask for me to go by the United Center. I don't get over that way too much, but I got reruns both on YouTube and TikTok. If you want to see the United Center, send me a message. We can send you a video or a link to a video that you can watch. Get a feel for what it's like there. Clark Street. This is Wacker Drive. There's Maria Towers. We got the light here. Everything's working out. We'll cross Wacker Drive. There's the Salesforce Tower. There's the Fight Club. But here, look at this view. Wacker Drive looking east towards the lake. We're almost to the Chicago River, so we'll head down to the Chicago River walk. See what's shaking. Okay, I'll show you the Goddess of Ceres. We got to go over to LaSalle Street, so we'll go over there. I was planning on going over anyway because I want to walk down where the Eastland disaster happened. So we'll wait. I'll show you. We'll zoom down. It might be far away. It's at the southern end of LaSalle Street in the heart of the loop where the Board of Trade is. So this is Clark Street, so LaSalle Street's one over. And what a beautiful day here weather-wise. To me, it's perfect. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. And so we'll head around here. Hey, Soul Cycle. And so you can walk down the river walk. You can go down to we'll walk past this, people sitting on the wall there just watching the boats go by. There's the Brown Line. The Brown Line's heading into the loop there. It's hard to see because of that truck, but yeah, see, most people, they know Chicago. If they know anything about Chicago, see, most people, they know New York City, the Statue of Liberty, you know, Las Vegas and Hollywood. If people know anything about Chicago and are not from the United States or have never been here, they think of Michael Jordan, they think of Al Capone. They used to think of Oprah Winfrey, but she left here a long time ago, and they probably think of crime or something, probably because of Al Capone. But Michael Jordan, I'm glad people remember Michael Jordan, the Bulls. They won 6 championships. And yeah, Chicago's still proud of Michael Jordan in association with the city. He did have a house, but he sold it. It's way on the north suburbs. And he still has a restaurant here. So here, 67 degrees. Here, we'll show you the Board of Trade here. So look, 67 degrees. You see that building, you see the train going across there. So there's the train going across LaSalle Street. This is a classic view of Chicago. And you see that building, that's called the Board of Trade. You see at the top, after the train goes by, I'll zoom in. That's a green line heading west on the loop of Chicago. And there goes the train another way. Look at this amazing view we get looking down LaSalle there. You got the clock. But see that statue at the top? That is Ceres. That's the goddess of grain. And it's the Greek goddess. I want to catch this train going by here, but there's Ceres. There's Ceres at the top of the Board of Trade there. And at the bottom, there's a bar called Ceres. There's your temperature and time right there, so you know I'm live. And here, let's head down to the Riverwalk. This talks about the Eastland disaster. We always talk about the Eastland disaster. There is a plaque here, and more than 800 people died on July the 24th, 1915. The Eastland disaster. You can look it up. It almost as many people lost their lives here as the Titanic, and it's strangely related to the Titanic. But here, we'll head down here. Let's check out the Riverwalk a little bit. This is the LaSalle Street Bridge. We saw this open yesterday, so if you want to see what these bridges look like when the sailboats go through them, you can watch the rerun there from yesterday on YouTube. And see people sit here and have their lunch. You can just walk right down here. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for saying hello. That's great, man. That's awesome. Yeah. How you doing? That's great, man. Thanks for saying hello. See, they're like, there's the guy. Hey, there's the Emerald Lady. There, look at that. And yeah, this is what we want to see. We want to see the boats coming through here. That's what we saw yesterday with the sailboats. Hey, Rob on the road there. Lori, how you doing there from Iowa? Thanks for tuning in there. Look at this beautiful scene. There's the Britannica building. Chicago architecture tour here. And yeah. Clark Street Bridge. We saw all these bridges open yesterday. Scotland, how you doing there, Ronnie? Thanks for tuning in. Hey, take it easy. Take it easy on Iowa here. You know, you will be blocked if you continue to do that. You know, let's be positive. Why you got to be negative? I have nothing against Iowa. There's a lot of beautiful farmland in Iowa. Des Moines has an interesting growing skyline. Thanks for tuning in there. Yeah, so the reason the Eastland disaster, okay, this is a stretch, but because the Titanic happened before the Eastland disaster, all cities, all countries throughout the world mostly increased their requirements for life safety boats on ships, because one of the problems with the Titanic, they didn't have enough lifeboats. Remember that if you watched the movie. So, subsequent to the Titanic sinking, at least in the United States, they required a lot of the passenger boats to have more lifeboats. It added more weight to the deck. The Eastland boat was a Laker that they converted to be a passenger ship. It always was top heavy anyway. They concreted the deck over as they retrofitted the boat. So it was notorious for listing, you know, tilting from side to side. And when they were loading the boat, it was only feet away from the shore in 1915. The weight wasn't distributed, and it listed, and they overcorrected, and it flipped to its side. Water poured into the hull, the HULL, and people were trapped underneath. Over 800 people perished, including whole families, the Eastland disaster. And it was right near the shore. It was so tragic. Like, babies died. They took the bodies to where Harpo Studios used to be in the West Loop, where Oprah used to film her daytime. They since have torn that building down. It's now where the Fortune 500 headquarters of McDonald's is now. And that's where they have the McDonald's where you get food from all over the world. That's where they took the bodies, and people think that site's haunted. But they tore down the building that was haunted, so I don't know if people are still haunting the McDonald's. You can go there and check it out. But hey, look at the tiny tab. Here's the Chicago Riverwalk. Here comes the evening star. Look at that nice view. Yeah, the Eastland disaster. See, we're talking about more history. Tara, how you doing there? Tara knows about the Eastland disaster. Yeah, some big buildings here. There's the Quaker Oats building. There's the Westin Hotel. And we'll get this evening star coming through here. Yeah, she's filming it too. That's great. There's the Bright Star. All these architectural too. We're going underneath Dearborn Street. This is Dearborn Street, Chicago Riverwalk. 50 or 60, 65 degrees. We got 12:40 in the PM here. So I noticed, yeah, they still have the State Street kind of partially lifted there. They're doing construction on it, so I think it has something to do with that. But here, let's catch this evening star coming under the Dearborn Street Bridge here. We'll wave to the people here. You want me to try a burger? Yeah, I'll try a burger there. That's crazy. Yeah, Tara knows about it. Hey, how you doing there? You from the shoreline. See, they're doing construction on the State Street. Let's go check it out. But here's the City Winery. Look at this nice view. You get to the skyscrapers. Here's a map, the Riverwalk. You can find that online, I'm sure. Yeah, so if you park in the Marina Towers, you got to use a valet, and the valets actually ride a special elevator that allows them to go up and down really quick. They hop on it like a conveyor belt, and hopefully I can catch that sometime. It's kind of, but there's a Steve McQueen movie from like 1980 where they drove a car off of that. You can watch that movie. They did drive a car off of it into the river. It's a big part of the movie, and they had a car chase scene that went up. The car chase scene, they went up and they were circling around and around, and then he couldn't get out, so they jumped off the river, or jumped off the parking garage there. You saw that clip, Tara? Yeah, you saw that clip? Yeah, is that Steve McQueen's in that movie? Somebody else is in that movie. I just, yeah.
I have.
Well, you remember the name of the movie? I need to commit it to memory here. London, a full-size replica of the Santa Maria just docked in London. That's amazing. Thanks, Rob, on the road. We'll look into that. They used to have the tall ships would come to Chicago. It was really interesting seeing those tall sailing clipper ships with the masts come into the Chicago River. I hope they do that again. I haven't seen that since the pandemic. But here's the State Street Bridge. See, they got some of it. Some of the beams are completely removed. They're repairing the State Street Bridge here. And see how the southern half is partially open here. The Vasco bridges, they independently can open and close them. We saw it yesterday when all the sailboats came through here. And yeah, thanks for tuning in here.
Gelato place up here a little bit.
But those ships were smaller than you thought. It's amazing they sailed those across the Nina Pinta and Santa Maria there in the Christopher Columbus caravels. They went all the way across the Atlantic in those little ships. It's much smaller than the Queen Mary. It's called The Hunter. Thanks, Tara. So thanks, Tara, for the good information. There's a movie called The Hunter, and that's the one where they drive a car. You can search for the clip. I'm sure the clip's on YouTube. You don't have to watch the whole movie if you just want to see the car. It's called The Hunter. Came out in the early 1980s, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, G, there. Thanks for tuning in there. Thanks for the good info. There's a lot of things I don't know about Chicago. I'm not the expert. I'm just a guy that walks around. There's the Island Party Hut boat. See, you got the slide on the back. Yeah, here's the Chicago Brew House. People are sitting out here. Hey, I like that hat there. Look at that's nice. But here's the Island Party boat. There's somebody rents that. You can rent that boat. And they got a slide on the back. Yeah, I can't sail across the ocean, that little ship. But look at that. Look at that view. There's State Street. There's the Wendella boat coming through there. They're working. Yeah, we'll keep going here. Hey, here comes a giant pleasure craft here. You see how the other half lives. That's why I posted that to TikTok. I posted that Navy Pier transient marina that they added to the north side. People can bring their sail across Lake Michigan and they could dock overnight or a few days there at Navy Pier and have showers and stuff. But if you got a boat like that, there's probably a shower on the boat. That's a $2 million yacht right there. Look at the size of that boat coming down the... See, here's the Trump Tower. Right in front of the Trump Tower, we got a large pleasure craft here heading through the Chicago River here. And there's a more normal sized boat, so you see how large this boat is. That's the size of some people's houses there. Look at that. That's a houseboat. Yeah, Ernie, you seeing that? Here comes the Wendella. Yeah, see, he's checking it out. He's like, whoa, look at that boat. It's like we're in Star Wars or something. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? That's good. Yeah, people waving hello to you there. Yeah, there's the Wendella. How you doing? How you doing? That's good. See, it chose to go around that side. That one's gonna go that side. Pick your channel there. Hey, look at this large barge. They're waving. There's Trump Tower, 1,200 feet tall. There's the Wrigley Building. That's the Shoreline Skyview barge going by the Here's the O'Brien's outdoor seating here in the Riverwalk. Oh, the State Farm insurance. Oh, they probably were parodying the movie there. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Thanks for the good info, Edward. I didn't know that. I'll look for that commercial. That's see, it shows you it's in people's it's in the collective memory there. There's the Wrigley Building, the Tribune Tower here, Chicago Riverwalk. They call this the Marketplace. I don't know if they've opened this yet. They might wait till July 1st here. Yeah, it's still not open yet. They'll open these up. There'll be pop-up shops and little restaurants in there. But hey, we're doing good here, 12:47. We'll continue a little bit on the Riverwalk. Yeah, we'll do the same thing. We'll try to get to the Centennial Fountain. That's been working out. The Centennial Fountain launches its water jet at 1 p.m. So it does it every hour on the hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at noon. I don't know if it goes all night. I think they shut it off at a certain time. But hey, here's the look at that. Here's those Buddhist monks. I like the orange attire there. That's nice. Heading down the I think it's the Buddhist monks here. They're touring around here. Isn't that great? And look at this beautiful view. We get to the Wrigley, the Tribune. It's the Intercontinental Hotel with the Onion Dome there in the middle. It used to be the Medina Athletic Association, built by the Shriners. And here's the McCormick Bridge House. I got a video. I don't have time to go up in there today. And see, we're down here. You go up 5 levels, you can get to the top. We've gotten to the top. We looked out those windows, that porthole. You can see the gears underneath there. And we saw the bridge lift from that. And we got all that on TikTok if you want to watch the reruns there. And hopefully that came across your For You page. If not, if you want to see it, let me know. Yeah, there's crazy things you see on the train. I can't vouch for it. There is crazy stuff that happens on all the trains. The city's not for everybody. I mentioned that. You're gonna see some crazy stuff when you're in the city. I don't care if you go to New York City or Chicago or Los Angeles. You're gonna see some freaky, uncomfortable stuff. And I can't help that. It was like that when I moved to the city in 1999. It's still this way and probably get worse. You'll encounter people asking you for money, making you uncomfortable, even people asking you for charity. You know, it's just you know, like, it's just the way it is. But here's the Sheridan. We're still on the Chicago Riverwalk, and here comes the water taxi. But here's where you can get the tickets for the architectural cruises and see. You wait in line there. You get on the boat. This is where you start and end a lot of the architectural. There's other places you can catch it, like Navy Pier, and you can catch it by the museum campus. So here's some people up there on Wacker Drive. Here's the water taxi. You can take the water taxi. It's a cheaper option. Have a great day, Julie there. Yeah. There you shot kidding there. You see, you got to have, it makes life interesting, right? There's always something going on. makes for your next viral video. Thanks, Julie. Danny, how you doing there? You want me to run it back to turbo? Yeah. Here's the Skyline Queen. Take the Skyline Queen. It's a much smaller boat. What time we got? 12:50. Okay, good. Wow, here comes the Chicago Odyssey. I think it's just coming back. So they take this dinner cruise. See this big long boat? We'll get over there and show it to you. We got 12:50. We got 10 minutes to get over to the Centennial Fountain here. Thanks, Shot Kitten. Thanks for the good testimony there. Yeah, there's the Odyssey Chicago River. It's pulling back into where they disembarked there. So they've had a nice lunchtime cruise there. There's the Odyssey Chicago River. Look at that. It's a big dinner boat. We got all the tables there, and you can dine right on the river there. Look at that. We always see that cruising around. It's a pretty nice large boat there. Beautiful boat. There's the John Hancock, 100 stories tall. And we'll get back a little bit so we can see the I'll go up to these stairs. We can see we'll be able to see the water jet from the Columbus Bridge here. So we got 12:51. There's the lowest level of Wacker Drive. There's the middle level. There's 3 levels of Wacker Drive at this section of the roadway. We got restrooms, public restrooms here. Hey, 186 people tuning in. See, the Riverwalk brings everybody out. Thanks for tuning in to YouTube. I'm Brian Really Chicago. I usually stream on the mornings and evenings on TikTok, and then we do a lunchtime on YouTube. I need to be on multiple platforms, and I appreciate people that watch me on both. Just in case one goes down, we can use the other, and that happens. Hey, you got these big tables around the trees here. People sit out here. Here's the Northman Beer and Cider Garden. Sometimes they have live bands. And yeah. Yeah, how you doing there, Gail? Colleen, Christiana, Gail. Yeah. Hey, walking the dog. See, this is usually where they have the bands there. They got the Pergola Bar. But hey, we're going to see if we can catch this Centennial Fountain water jet. We caught it yesterday. I didn't think of it until just now. I'm like, since I'm over here, we might as well stick around till it launches. No alcohol on this point. But tomorrow at lunchtime, if you got time on Friday, I'm taking a day off of work, and I'm meeting my friend Dave, and we're gonna go inside Wrigley and see the Reds. My childhood team, the Cincinnati Reds, are playing the Chicago Cubs, so we're gonna see a baseball game. So I hope to be live streaming. How you doing? I hope to be live streaming here on YouTube tomorrow at Wrigley Field. I won't live stream the game. You gotta watch it on TV. I don't want to break any FCC laws. I don't want to lose my channel here. But we usually stream before and after the game, and I'll probably do my normal TikTok in the morning, TikTok in the evening. But we'll try to coincide the lunchtime walk with us going to Wrigley. We did that the last time we were there, but there was a rain delay, and so it made it problematic. But we'll try to get you the opening ceremonies, the Star Spangled Banner and the God Bless America and the first pitch, ceremonial pitch and all that. But this is all, look at these boats here on the Riverwalk here. There's the St. Regis. We'll head up these stairs, and we'll go see if we can catch this water jet. Here's the lower level of Wacker, middle level, the upper level. You can really see it from the stairwell here on Columbus Drive, Chicago, Illinois. We got 12:54 in the PM, and we got 65 degrees. It's pretty nice. Ernie said it's 70 away from the lake. The airports are reporting 70 degrees, but it's a little cooler by the lake. It's typical this time of year. Yeah, go Cubs. Yeah, it's tough. You know, I've lived in Chicago over half my life, so I've kind of switched to rooting for the Chicago sports teams. I'm just not as diehard as your typical Cubs or Sox fan. I can go in between the Cubs or Sox. Most true Chicagoans don't do that. You pick one team or the other. And since my out is I started rooting for the Reds, I probably go to more Cubs games than Sox games, but we went to the Sox home opener this year. At least the outside, and the same with the Cubs home opener. Here, we'll head up the stairs here. We'll try to get in position to get this water jet. There's a nice view to the Trump Tower, the Wrigley Building, Chicago River, Columbus Drive. This is Wagger. We'll head around here. The Reds will win. They might win. We'll see. We'll see. They got to play the game. But Cubs are still in first place in the NL Central. And thankfully, the Colorado Rockies have a worse record than the Chicago White Sox, but different league. So here, we'll try to get over to the Centennial Fountain here. Tropical storm Alvin. Is that the first named storm of the year? Thanks, Sean, for the good info. That we'll keep track on that. Yeah, it used to be the Big Red Machine. I remember when Pete Rose used to manage. I remember that. Hey, look at this view here to Streeterville here. We'll head over towards this fountain here. There's the Swiss Hotel. There's the St. Regis. How you doing? Yeah, the Cubs are doing good this year. So we got 12:56. The sidewalk kind of ends here, but I'm keeping an eye on the traffic coming off of Lakeshore Drive. I want to get out to this position because we'll be able to clearly see. Yeah, we can see Navy Pier. So we went to Navy Pier on Tuesday. We checked out those boat slips. I posted that too. There's the Centennial Fountain. So that's where they're going to shoot a water jet there at 1 o'clock. So we got 12:56. So I'll continue to walk towards the lake here. This is DeSable Lakeshore Drive. And there's the St. Regis. And there's the Swiss Hotel. But hey, look at the Windella going by the Centennial Fountain there. Yeah, Chris. Thanks for tuning in, Chris. I appreciate it. Yeah, look at all the boats here. Look at all the boats going out to the... I guess they're all going to go through the locks there. There's the Windella there. Yeah, let's see if we can look straight down McClurg Court here. We'll get a little further this way. But we should have a really clear view to this water jet here. So we'll stick around here and we'll just film the river. And I'll take a break here from walking. Hey, look at that. So this is a nice view here. There's the Sheridan Hotel. Yeah, Colleen. So look, you can look all the way back to the Trump Tower, the Wrigley Building. There's the Hyatt, go that way. There's the John Hancock. That's just all Streeterville. We'll say hi to Darren Monroe there. Look at that. There's the Centennial Fountain. And there's where they're building. That crane is the new 400 North Lakeshore. There's Navy Pier. There's the Ferris wheel for Navy Pier. Is that the Evening Star? And yeah, everything looks great. Look at the St. Regis, 1,100 feet tall. But here, let's zoom into the Centennial Fountain here. 12:58, so less than 2 minutes. They're gonna shoot. See right there. There's a water cannon that comes out of that pyramid-looking thing, and it shoots across the river. And sometimes there's boats going by, and people get sprayed with the water. So I hope it turns on right now. Yeah, nice day. It shuts off at 11 p.m. Thanks, Ernie. Thanks for looking it up. So, yeah, it doesn't run all night. At a certain point in the morning they start it, and then it's every hour until 11 p.m. there. So let's see here. We got 12:59. So I'll keep filming this way. We can see if we can get this water jet here. But hey, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thanks all the mods. Thanks everybody for being nice in the comments there. And we had a nice walk today. 181 people here. Get ready. We're gonna launch this jet. Trust me. They did it yesterday. We got it, and that boat just made it through there, so they're not gonna get wet. This is Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. See Navy Piers over there. That's Lake Michigan. We're looking at the Centennial Fountain. I'm waiting for this water jet, so I don't want to swing around. I want to catch it when it starts here, and then I'll show you the Wrigley Building and the Trump Tower, so you can see where we're at. This is the Chicago River, and there's a water cannon at 1 o'clock. There it goes. Look at that. There it is. There's the water cannon, the Centennial Fountain. Thanks for tuning in. Look how that water pressure, it's like a geyser. There's Old Faithful. See, that boat just missed it. And the boat's stopping so people can take pictures of it. It creates a rainbow. And there's the Centennial Fountain there. And I'll zoom in to show you. See how it comes out of that little pyramid looking thing. You wouldn't want to stick your hand there. It's really high pressure water, like a fire hose. And so they make it so it's hard for people to reach around there. Because I know kids would try to do it. I would try to do it. Yeah, I was hoping they'd get wet too. In the summertime, the boats sometimes go right through there. And you see Navy Pier. This is Wacker Drive. And so this is the St. Regis in Chicago. There's the water cannon, Centennial Fountain. There's the shoreline. Hey, here goes the Fred A. Bussy. Let's see if it goes through the water cannon. Let's see if it stops or if they drive right through it. So here's back to the Tribune and the Equitable Building, the old Equitable Building, and the Wrigley Building, the Trump Tower. See, here's the Swiss Hotel, the Genie Gang, Aqua. There's they're waving to everybody there. Hello. There she blows. Yeah, they're having a good time there on the Fred A. Bussy. There's the water can. Let's see if they go through here. We got 101. I think it goes for like 5 minutes. So I don't think they're going to go through it. I think it looks like they're slowing down. So I got to get back to work. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Yeah, they're not going to go through it. They're slowing down. So if they would go through it, I would still film, but I got to get back to work here. So thanks everybody. Hey, look at this helicopter. That's a Coast Guard helicopter. We saw that a lot when we were heading over to Navy Pier. There's the Coast Guard helicopter coming in for a landing here. Yeah, there's a Coast Guard station right over there. So hey, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day here from Chicago, and we'll see you tomorrow. Lunchtime, we'll be at a ball game there. So have a great day. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks, mods. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later.